Shabbat Shalom. People of the United Nations, British Trust Territory of the Southern Cameroons. Happy Saturday. Today na Saturday, the number 13 day for the month of July 2019. My name na Capo Daniel. This one is my daily podcast for now. Citizens of Ambazonia. The British Southern Cameroon Resistance Forces of General Arike have had its first chair lady, Mrs. Viviane Mbamwe, aka Momsi, and its first vice president, Mr. Paul of Ireland. Your humble servant, since past king, have resigned and stepped aside, together with my counterpart, Mr. Glenn, from being the legitimate representatives of the British Southern Cameroon Resistance Forces. First, that black woman for America, when America they are congresswoman, that means their own parliamentarian or senator them, Congresswoman Bass, he don't go back for America, grant an open interview where people they call you for telephone, they ask you about a trip for the Cameroons.
Hello, my name is... Hi, I'd like to ask the Congresswoman, and thank you for the trip to lead to Cameroon remaining united, and similar to that, what message would you have to send to those advocating or fighting for independence? Thank you.
Well, you need to know that I always believe of a basic value in the right of people for self-determination. I want to see peace in Cameroon. I want to see all sides come to the table without condition and to work it out. I want people to be free of fear. I want the kids to go back to school, and I want an end to the violence. That is the extent of my position. Cameroonians should determine their own future, but they should determine it in peace. I do not believe that violence on either side is going to result in anything that is positive.
For that first question, the Congresswoman talks say he believes for the right of self-determination, when at the same thing with the Ambazonian people that they fight, say mean that their own people them determine their future as it be required under international law. When I remember saying Ambazonia them said they be decide for come out for Nigeria, now Ambazonia they be decide for come for Cameroon. So now Ambazonia then get that decision for come out for Cameroon. No be any other person who make that decision for we. Will get the right under international law, and it be refreshing. Say the Congresswoman acknowledge, say believe in the right of self-determination. At the same time, the Congresswoman also talk say, want me something can happen like Southern Sudan where people they fight each other. This go open our eye for we for understand say those who they fight each other, they promote infighting, causing fight in particularly on the ground, are those working against our revolution, because the one for give the greatest fear for the international community. Say if they give we freedom today, we go begin fight against each other. So Ambazonia the need for be very mindful of those who are engaged in provocative manner and situation the way that they cause Ambazonia therefore begin fight each other. We need to take time investigate those parties in Ambazonia where they be behind those amber to amber fighting. The Congresswoman also talked about the need for the Ambazonian people to be able to express themselves without any fear, and the need for us to focus on dialogue and non-violent approach to resolve our issue. Wanna listen?
You're all living, frankly, with the nightmare of the situation in South Sudan, and I would hate to see something that resulted in a long-term violent conflict. Nobody succeeds there. Next caller.
So the fear of South Sudan scenario that always be the driving force for international community if they respond towards our fight for self-determination. It be very important for no say our enemy to be aware of this fear, and they will always instigate issues and where you go to bring this fear for the international community for begin afraid. Say if they grant Southern Cameroon's independence, we go turn for begin fight each other. That is why the enemy they always try to provoke amber to amber fighting, in order for use them like evidence for show the war, so they no need for support we. So Ambazonian fighters for ground zero, they need for understand. Say anytime you are sent to attack a fellow Ambazonian fighters, you are destroying the struggle and reducing our chances to ever have recognition or support for our independence in diplomacy. Social media also don't go wild. Say one of the cabinet member for the defunct Sako's cabinet, Pastor John Igowan, he also called represent himself as an Anglophone. Wanna hear?
Yes, hello. My name is John Igowan. I'm calling from Texas. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I'm from that part, from the Anglophone part of Cameroon.
Social media critics they talk say how a whole former minister for Ambazonia go the court talk say he commander for that part for Cameroon when that Anglophone region. That means say he himself he no be bold enough, he no be articulate enough for make the claim for Ambazonia, for distinguish between Cameroon and Ambazonia. For anybody for be competent, for represent the people of Ambazonia, that person must be bold enough, confident enough, articulate enough for begin express the nationalism, the sovereignty, the claim of the Ambazonia people entitlement to their state, country, and homeland. Now, why that way, Adandi always advocate, say only people who have a track record, who have embraced Ambazonian nationalism can effectively articulate and preserve the integrity of our fight for restoration, because people like these are prone to compromise, prone to give the international community the impression that some Ambazonia still see themselves as part of that Cameroon. Impression matters. Reading of impression creates reality in politics and in diplomacy. Why Southern Cameroon the need for demonstrate, say they are separate. Even intellectually, we need for demonstration, we don't cut off with La République du Cameroon and the relationship be unrepairable. We do not see ourselves as part of them. That is why our national symbol are embraced and we consider the symbols of Cameroon as symbol of oppression. For other side, Chris Anu, the former communication and IT minister for the IG, then begin meet up Caterpillar for his platform. Chris Anu, who seems to be obsessed about the amount of people who did watch it, that meet up in Waterloo for a platform. As Ambazonia, they then begin to remind me, say, he no be a speaker for the Ambazonia struggle or any representative for the interim government. Una listen.
Please, Chris, you are not our Secretary of State anymore. You are, I missed the thing roll away. Well, you are in a minority there and inconsequential. Thank you. Magdalene Do, Chris Anu, our revolutionary powerhouse. Thank you for that compliment. Austin, I mentioned you. Mega projects, the Lionheart, Kevin. My special thanks goes to Gumi Indaga, great, with good faith. Please, Chris, you are not our Secretary of State anymore. You are, I missed the thing roll away. Well, you are in a minority there and inconsequential.
Chris Anu begin to dismiss the people them as inconsequential. Ambazonia, the way they express themselves, and they remind Mr. Chris Anu, say he and Sako, they have been sacked and do not represent the interim government anymore. But would want to remind Ambazonia, say just like the time of Mark Barata and Tapang Ivo, when they be caretaker of the consortium follow the arrest of Mr. Agbo Bala, during that time, they be also na interim leadership. When they be move them for power, them two be steady contradict Tasang Wilfred, but eventually they become realized, say, Wata dan pass Gary. The same thing would expect say go happen with Mr. Chris Anu and Samuel Sako, where they see misrepresent themselves, say them being IG officials. One ADF commander then reach out for send out a message for Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga, say me Sokadev then release ADF their weapons them right now. This the follow an incident where Sokadev them use population overwhelm ADF camp, seizing their weapons and driving their troops back to Bamenda according to their generals. Wanna listen?
Yes, Pa. Again, there's something I want you people to do for us here. Please, for the sake of peace, I would like you guys to try to get in contact with Mr. Ebenezer Akwanga. Let him warn his boys here. Let him warn them. Let them be very, very careful, because some kind of carnage will take place that nobody will ever understand. Please, let him warn his boys. Let them come and let them come and give us. Let them come and drop back our weapons. Let them come and give us our material. As time passes, our anger aggravates. We are angry. I'm sick of this nonsense. I'm in Kumba. I'm in church. I'm here in my area.
But they played with Mr. Beneza Akwanga for please give order for the troops and for return all the confiscated weapons of the ADF. Failure to do so will mean that he himself will be responsible for the carnage, because such an action for confiscate weapons and for soldier them go inevitably lead to such. Would they inform all our people for Mamfe, the great state of Manu, said network then be suspended for that area, where the show say the terrorist forces them for La République du Cameroon, the planned military operation against our forces in that area. For across the Mongo, Ambazonia prisoners of war in Kondengi, they don't go ballistic over Mancho BBC call for school resumption. Wanna listen?
You fit imagine Mancho BBC before the one moved to their communique.
Because most of the audio contain names of prisoners, them will not go release the audios. But would one inform Mancho BBC and all our prisoners of war and those who care about the education of our children should understand that Tassan Wilfred is there. Tassan Wilfred can speak on behalf of those who called for the school boycott. After the declaration of our restoration, it is impossible for us to even talk about school resumption. We can tolerate discussion about education of our children, means of educating our children during a time of war. People like Dr. Liz had been commissioned officially to come out with curriculum and ways in which we can institute some type of educational program, in particularly for those who are minors, to give them the basic knowledge of how to read and write and equip them to be able to defend themselves and defend the nation tomorrow. We can encourage homeschooling and consider the issue of school opening, not resumption, village by village, block by block. Regarding school resumption, it will never happen in Ambazonia. We can never study under the Ministry of National Education of La République du Cameroon. That will be treasonous. Finally, back to the British Southern Cameroon resistant forces. General Areke's forces have had its first chair lady, Miss Momsi, and Vice President, Mr. Paul of Ireland. And I have resigned from my position as representing the forces in the diaspora as well as being a member of the High Council. And I call this decision an imposition because the decision was made out of the High Council, which is a decision-making body of the British Southern Cameroon resistant forces. And because this issue have been on social media, I found it important for me to tell a little bit about my rationale to resign, together with my counterpart, Mr. Glenn. Momsi, one of those people where they be stand beside me when I be the campaign for the release of General Arake, would eventually be appointed as the liaison officer between ADF and the forces of General Arake, begin a conflict with the High Council of the British Southern Cameroon Resistance Forces when he be fired or he be resigned for the ADF. We will be informed by Momsi, say he no go still be act as a liaison officer and he go to donate him money directly for General Arake them. But we will be insist for inform Momsi, so we'll get a protocol. All money where they go for our forces, they need to come through our High Council. A protocol will be set in place for give our soldiers them a sense of fairness and an authority that have oversight over them, as well as to prevent scenario where soldiers will think that the force have become as a one-man show. But will be talk say be okay for Momsi for continually to make donation directly for General Arake, because even though we be done fire our former spokeslady, Mrs. Ann also remained a strong supporter of our forces them, and it did directly support our forces them, and our general they inform us of such donations. But Momsi violates the protocol by going to Facebook and announce a public fundraiser without authorization or coordination with our High Council. An objection was made to our council hierarchy, but Momsi escalated this challenge by making posts that refers to our High Council as thieves and impostors. Another objection was raised, and this was met with a response that Momsi have been appointed the chairperson of the British Southern Cameroon Resistance Forces, and our hierarchy had informed us that we will remain as representative of the force within the National Defense Council. And I made the choice that I have to resign and give Momsi a chance to lead the force. At least nobody is indispensable. We are going to support her 100% and continue to support our forces on ground zero. We are not impostors. Our representation of the forces have always been with their concern, and our presentation have always been a reflection of what they pass on to us. We are very proud with our legacy that this is the only force where decisions are made in ground zero and management decisions are made in ground zero 100%. General Araki is able to fire us or take decisions to replace the diaspora, not the other way around. This is how it is supposed to be. All finances in our forces are directly controlled and managed by ground zero. That is how it is supposed to be. Our soldiers are working hard every day, working with mosquito bites, living in caves, staying in bush, under rain and sun. They deserve our support unconditionally. We are going to channel all our support through Momsi, the new chief. And we hope that this is going to be an example to Ambazonia, that no matter what we have as differences, we must always sometimes give chance to other people to fill in and step up to the plate, and as well as have a sacred duty to support ground zero and our forces irrespective of the politics. Let's keep Manu in our prayers and stand together as a people of Ambazonia. May we hold grass, we resist through the Monday Ghost Town to demonstrate to the world that we want separation and independence for Ambazonia. May we resist, we stand as one man. May our revolution be short. May our independence, freedom, democracy, and civil liberty in Ambazonia reign forever. God bless you. Capo Daniel signing off.